If you have been sent, Bonded One, to serve Tyros, I urge you to listen to his every word. He is the best of your kind, strong and loyal.
The legend of the Priest King's half-blood son lives on, even now. A fearsome warrior, leader of the Giant King's armies, and ultimately a turncoat against his own kin. Many millennia ago, in time immemorial, the exiled lands were under the dominion of the Giant Kings, an enigmatic elder race. Knowing of the dark arts and the outer void, they were caught surprised when a tired people, fleeing disaster and savagery, emerged from the swampy east to the gates of their homeland. The remnants of the Lemurians, barely escaping the cataclysm that had sunk their homeland, fell in worship of the Giant Kings. The two sides forged bracelets of sorcery so as to understand one another, and in time came to coexist. The Lemurians built their cities in the east, close to the ocean, and both races cooperated together, some humans coming to work and even live in the territory of their hosts. Out of this practice came Tyros, son of the Priest King and an unknown Lemurian woman. Some suspect sorcery may have aided his birth. Raised as a gladiator, he found comfort with the blade, becoming an impressive fighter. Still a young man, he was given the ultimate task to fight the mightiest dragon the Giant Kings had created. Tyros slew the beast, yet saw a noble death for the mighty creature, and he wept in the sands of the arena. The star of the champion was given to Tyros, a prize for his victory, yet he pinned it to the beast and buried it there, beneath the sands. Elsewhere in the exiled lands, the Lemurians sought fresh lands in the north to settle a new city for their rapidly growing population. On their travels they found the volcano, and within the Well of Skelos they found the Serpent Men of Volusia, an ancient enemy of humanity. War erupted between the Lemurians and their hosts. The same bracelets that had bore the fruits of communion were twisted by the Giant King's hidden sorceries, subjugating the Lemurians into slaves. Tyros, respected for his prowess in the arena, was chosen to lead the Giant King's armies, including his own Silent Legion, a group of soldiers loyal to his fierce leadership. A portion of the Lemurian people managed to evade the entrapment of the bracelets, forming a resistance to fight the Giant Kings. War is a messy affair. It is unknown who struck first, but the Lemurians would destroy the Giant King's aqueduct to starve the capital of precious water. Heading north, they established Zulan, an outpost to prevent the Serpent Men from joining the Giant Kings in the war effort. Tyros and his Silent Legion were given a new task: to sack the outpost of Zulan, wrench it from Lemurian hands, and drive their forces from the north. Zulan was besieged, and through bloody conflict it fell to the Silent Legion. The outpost now captured, the Giant Kings had taken a crucial step towards victory. However, even the best laid plans may turn awry. South of Zulan, Tyros would meet a woman, Telith, daughter of the Witch Queen. Tyros had never faltered in his duty, yet the pull of love caused him to do just that. Tyros would father children with Telith, Zalthar, a partially human son, and potentially a daughter, Zaltana, who seems to have fallen out of history's gaze. To protect them from his father's fury, Tyros and the Silent Legion turned their back on the Giant Kings, fighting alongside the Lemurians in the war. After the killing of the Archivist at the Circle of Swords and the battle at the Shattered Springs, the Giant Kings retreated to the far south, where the Priest King, influenced by the staff of the Triumvirate, hatched his final plan for victory. He commanded Warmaker Clael to unleash a sandstorm elemental to decimate the city of Zelhar. Clael reluctantly agreed, and the Priest King travelled north to the mounds to deal with his son's great betrayal. The Priest King and Tyros the Deathbringer met in the fields beside the mounds of the dead. Rain pelted against them, shed by the clash of steel, father and son locked in vicious combat. Tyros, a gifted warrior, defeated his father. As the Priest King bled out in the mud, he whispered his final words. A curse upon Tyros and his legion, a spell of undeath that would doom them to these lands forever. The Priest King dead, the Giant Kings defeated, the sandstorm contained by Petruso, the Lemurians had scraped a victory from the sands. For Tyros, that victory proved to be his doom. As the Priest King spoke his curse in his dying breath, Tyros' armour grew cold and whispered to him, unintelligible script etching itself into the metal. The dragon, slain and honoured by Tyros many years prior, pulled its mummified corpse from the sands of the arena, and as the curse settled in his soul, Tyros' armour gave him a new name, the Kinscourge. The whispers in his ear, the curse in his blood, he could bear it not. Knowing his fate and feeling the seeds of madness growing within, he resigned himself and his silent legion to the Black Keep. The waves of time washed over the exiled lands, taking Telith, Zalthar, and Zaltana with them. Yet the Kinscourge remained. Trapped within the Black Keep, his armour reminds him with every passing second. The name of his love, the tragedy of the Witch Queen, taunting him as a Kinscourge. His armour whispered of each as his flesh decays beneath the metal prison, his mind falling away into insanity. In the present day, it's unclear just how long the Kinscourge has spent within this keep. The Silent Legion are skeletal husks driven by madness and a primal instinct for death. Tyros, or whatever remains of him, is likely the same beneath his armour. When the exile meets the Kinscourge in the Black Keep, he's already too far gone. He asks no questions, he speaks no words, and the same armour that protects him has ceaselessly taunted him for thousands of years. As he falls to the exile, the final sliver of humanity seems to leave the Kinscourge. The tears of two races, shed from Tyros himself, seems his final acknowledgement of what has come to pass. Nevertheless, the blackened heart ripped from his chest still beats. The Kinscourge lives, even in death. There is no freedom for Tyros. Everyone he has ever loved or known is gone, and even with his body destroyed, his heart still pulses. The only use for this blackened heart, most tragically, is to create Telith's sorrow or Telith's lament, swords that hum with blasphemous power and bad memories, perhaps possessed by the spirit of the Kinscourge. The tale of the Kinscourge is one of the most tragic stories in the exiled lands. A loyal and fierce warrior liberated by love, only to have his final victory doom him to everlasting life. Even in death, the Kinscourge lives, and his soul may never truly know the peace of the void. Thank you for watching. The story of the Kinscourge was my first ever lore video, and it's a project I've always been proud of. However, the story deserves the proper presentation, weight and gravitas, so thus today I decided to remaster it. I hope you've all enjoyed. Thank you to our esteemed coffee cultists for continuing to support the channel over on Patreon. If you enjoy my content, consider joining us on Patreon or here on YouTube by clicking join beneath this video to support the channel. Take care, and I'll see you soon.